All right, so that's what Patrick and I are both excited to share with all of you this evening. To give you a chance to see some of that Den Leader experience firsthand. And if any of you are in here and aren't currently registered as a Den Leader, you may not currently see the access to the Den Leader experience through your Scout book. But we're also going to share with you how you can get the chance to experience a little bit of what the Den Leader experience looks like and feels like, even if you may not currently be registered as a Den Leader. And with that, if you are a Den Leader, it's important that you make sure with your unit, talk with your Key 3 to get yourself registered as a Den Leader, which will give you the access that you need to utilize this tool. So I'm going so the first thing I was just sharing with you guys a little bit, if you're not a Den Leader, you may not already have access to the Den Leader experience, but we have provided a sandbox, if you will, a place where non-Den Leaders can jump in and see what this experience looks like. And you're going to find that through the link that you can see here on your screen, which is leaderpp.scouting.org. One of the great things that we found with the Den Leader experience, and really the Scout book overall, but especially as we look at this tool, is that it is really optimized to be most effectively used on your phone. You're more than welcome to use it on the desktop, as that works very well there. But the goal of this platform is to make it easy to use on your smartphone. So for those of you who are not Den Leaders, you can follow this link, and when you log in and select a user, you're going to use one of the pre-populated users there. Like you can see Vince, Andrew, and Craig on the screen. Hit that ID and it's going to populate the username and password, so you can jump in and experience the Den Leader experience for yourself. Patrick will be sharing with us a little bit, a part of that sandbox, as we share with you more about what's available. Now, for our Den Leaders, those of you who are registered, you are going to you're going to log in through Scoutbook, and you're going to select the option that says to log in as a Den Leader, and that's going to give you the access. Different than the sandbox, you're going to get access to your den, and this is where you're going to be able to set everything up, so you can schedule your meetings, contact as many of the things you heard in the video, contact your parents, let them know the exciting things that you're doing. So we want to start with sharing you guys a little bit of the setup, and then we'll dive into a little bit more of the functionality. Navigation through the Den Leader experience is pretty straightforward, as you can see here. Like on most apps, in the top right corner, you can edit your profile, view your account. Down on the bottom on the left, you have your calendar. In the middle, that campfire, that's going to be your back button, or go back to the home button. You use that one pretty often. And then on the right side is going to be where you can see your roster. You can see the scouts, leaders, and parents that are involved with you with your den. After you log in, whether it's through the sandbox or through your own Scoutbook account, you're going to get the opportunity to go through a quick tour. We highly encourage that you take advantage of that tour. It's going to dive a little bit deeper than Patrick and I do today. Make sure you know the tools that are there available for you to help make running your den all the easier. So the first thing that you're going to do once you get logged in is you want to set up your den meetings. So you're going to navigate to your account, you're going to click on your dens, and you're going to select the den that you wish to set up. Once you get to that phase, you're going to get a series of screens that look just like these here on your screen now. First of those is going to be to select your den type. Some of you may be participating in our family den pilot program, so you may be serving a den of boys and a den of girls as you're operating in that pilot. Don't get too hung up on which option you select here, whether it's a boys den or a girls den. This isn't going to change any of the functionality moving forward. It simply changes some of the images that you see. If you select a boys den, many of the images that you see throughout your Den Leader experience will be pictures of boys participating in scouting, and the same for girls. So select either one of those. It won't affect anything from this screen on. Second thing, let the app know what time it is that you meet, start, end, and how often you meet. You can select whether you're going to meet weekly or you're going to meet every other week. Bi-weekly is how they refer to it there. Set your address and then set when your first meeting is. This app and the Den Leader experience is designed to guide you through your entire calendar year or your entire school year of Den programming. Patrick's going to share with us some of the ways that it helps us schedule that out and helps us be effective with our meetings. But we are right now sitting in the middle of October, so we know that your first meeting may have already occurred. Feel free to put when your first meeting of the year was, and we'll teach you guys how to click and drag some of those scheduled items so you can make sure that your Den is right on track where you need to be. And your setup is just as easy as that. Once you've got that all set up, your Den is ready to go, and then you are going to be ready to start scheduling out your meetings and making sure that you are an organized Den leader. With that, I'm going to kick it over to Patrick.
Awesome. I cannot wait to show you this. So little disclaimer, this is a live test. So I'm going to go ahead and share my browser with you. This is my Safari browser on my computer here. And you can see, if anyone can't see it right now, raise your hands. You can see the beautiful graphics that are included. I have it started out right now in desktop view. It actually works really, really great in desktop view. And you can see here as I click through different things, your account view, you can see your meetings, some resources, and then training, which actually takes you straight off into the VSA training, where they can go ahead and do their training. But I like to go to the view that's more the mobile view. And so what I do is I'll just go ahead and I'll shrink my browser here and I'll readjust. And now you can see what things look like in my browser, like it would on an iPhone. You can look up here where the top corner, you'd see where the little monster is up in the upper right-hand corner where your notifications are. If you had multiple dens, you'd click right there in the middle where it says Den 2 to change your dens. And then you can see there at the bottom, I'll just remind you, Campfire is home. Get home to Campfire. And then also you can click over here and gets into your roster, which I'm actually not going to cover right now. But I am going to cover the next section, which is your meetings. So once you have gone in and you've given them your grade level and your date and time of when your meeting is, all of your meetings are pre-populated in there. And ranks can be done in about 13 meetings. Plenty of time for that February blue and gold, right? So it makes it really easy for our Den leaders who, what do I do? Well, it's all right here. It's pretty doggone simple. You can go ahead and see different kinds of pack events, different kinds of troop events. These are feeding in from the Scout book. The Merit Badge Workshop here feeds in from Scout book and all the other things. But you can see these are the actual meetings. And to edit a meeting, you can actually go up here. If say this isn't the right week for Council Fire 1 of 2, well, I want to move that. I need to move that down here. So I'm just going to click, I'm just going to click this and I'm going to drag it down there. And now we're going to do Duty to God and Footsteps on 10/7, which is tomorrow night. We go ahead and we click done. And I told you it was a live test in their sandbox. So it's going to go ahead and update my events. Rock on. Everybody in their parent version of this app, which is scouting.org, will end up getting reflected on this same meeting plan just now. Pretty cool, right? Actually, you can then go in and say, I want to do Duty to God. Friday is a terrible time to have a meeting, right? So we're actually doing Duty to God at our weekend event this weekend. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. And it's going to actually be at 7 o'clock. And I'm going to change it because it's actually going to be at 1 o'clock. Pretty neat that clock is, right? And it's not going to be at Anthony's. We're going to change the location, but we're going to do it down at, for those in Prescott, Thane Park. And it goes ahead and it sends a meeting reminder out to all the parents when we hit apply. Oops, it is the live test, but then now it will do it. So a few things don't work in the sandbox, as you can see, but in the actual Scout book, it works actually really great. The next one is, so you can see that, the next is go to my campfire, right? And I'm gonna actually go into our current meeting, which is Duty to God Footsteps, right? Right here. And it kind of gives you some things before the meeting that you need to do. So there's a note to the den leader. This is really cool stuff. I kind of geeked out when I first saw this. It gives you all the really good stuff that we're gonna do, and also gives you the value proposition of why it's important to teach these tools to our young people. And you can see it kind of goes to the value proposition right there. We can go through the requirements that it covers in each of the badges. And it also gives you the preparation and the materials that you need. So we need one blank sheet of paper. We need some colored pencils, crayons, and markers. And we need the words that say for Scout Vespers. And you can see right there, it's got all of our Scout Vesper in there. We have prepared for our meeting. We're going to go ahead and mark all as done. And then now it's time for our meeting, right? And we're on our app and we're looking at what we got to do. We go ahead and we click view. And the first thing is we get gathered up. Then get gathered up and we're going to teach everybody about the buddy system. We're going to go ahead and recite the Scout Oath and discuss duty to God. We'll carry out any of our den business that needs to be done. And we'll go through some of our activities. We'll remind people of when the next meeting is, and we'll sing Scout Vespers at the end. And we'll mark all of that done, and we'll close out. And then at the very end of the meeting, this was so cool. At the very end of the meeting, we got to go and clean up our area, right? We're going to get our area cleaned up. Mark it as done. And then we go back. And this particular one is not showing me take attendance. But let me find one that is done. Bobcat. So after everything is done, I've noticed in the sandbox, it doesn't ask me to take attendance on everyone, but after you clicked everyone, you get this cool take attendance. So I'm gonna go ahead and take attendance. And when Scouts and Scout Book actually have their pictures, they actually show up here. But if they're not, they come in as little monsters, which is, I think, the coolest thing, because monsters are cool. So we saw that we're gonna take some attendance, click the little monsters, and then we update our attendance. And now, here's the cool part for the parents, right, Matt? At this very moment, the parents just got a list of all of the activities in their email and the value proposition that the den leader read at the beginning of the meeting. So now every parent knows what that Scout has done at that meeting, what requirements were completed. The value proposition has been emailed out. And at that very moment, like we have up on my screen here, Bobcat, every one of those kids, Bobcats, would have been marked as advanced in internet advancement, and it's ready for the order to be placed with your advancement chair and your pet. I don't know about you, that saves a lot of time for me and others that work in Scout Book. So I'm gonna turn it back over to Matt, and we can demo more at the end after we've stopped recording, but that's what I got.
Patrick, I'll actually jump in a question for you.
Sure.
You just shared with me the message that gets sent out to our families who are there participating in that activity. What about the Scouts who you didn't mark as attended that event and weren't able to join for that activity that night? Did they get anything?
They do, they get a make-up work. So they get to figure out, they get to be told what they get to do to figure out how they can do those requirements with their parents. So great stuff, right, Matt?
Absolutely. And the feature that Patrick just shared is, this is a great tool to help you organize, figure out what you need to do for your meetings. One of the little buttons you may have noticed that Patrick was looking at there when it was marking attendance, you can even click the button that says, I did this with alternate requirements, meaning as you den leaders know, there's some of our adventures and things like that that have some electives, and you can do some things that are different. Our lesson plans lay out what we believe are easy to do requirements that are making sure that our scouts are getting done what they need to get done. But you can even click on that button that says that you completed that adventure with a separate set of requirements. But my favorite feature is what Patrick was sharing is once you mark their attendance, is that message that's going to go out to the families.
Yeah.
And it's going to increase the amount of communication. There's the button that you guys see there. If you did some requirements that were a little bit different that evening than what was originally on that sheet, not a problem. They're still going to get a message. They're going to send them that value proposition, but it won't outline this is the exact requirements that we did. But I love this feature and the Den Leader experience because it's going to communicate with your families, let them know the things that they're doing. We know as feedback that we get from the families that participate in scouting, they want to be able to be aware of the things that their scouts are doing. And through this communication, we can not only let them know what they did, but why they did it. Why are we doing this as an activity with our den? What are the things that they're learning and experiencing through the Den Leader experience? So I am definitely excited about that feature. As well as just the planning is one of the things that I enjoy that most. Whether you're a first-time Den Leader that jumps into the Den Leader experience and takes week by week exactly as they have outlined it, or if you're an experienced Den Leader and you go through and you click and drag the different activities so it fits a schedule that works with you, we hope that is a great tool for each and every one of you. Couple more things that we wanted to share with you here of how to schedule your meetings and things like that. For the most part, your dens are going to be set up through Scoutbook, and we refer, you probably have heard Patrick and I go back and forth a couple times tonight saying Scoutbook and Den Leader Experience. It's all under one main platform. The Den Leader Experience is a skin, if you want to think of it like that. It's an app that uses all the data that you have from Scoutbook, but allows you to do what they call the Den Leader Experience. So for the most part, setting up your den is done through Scoutbook. You may have already done that. I'm sure many of you are engaged in Scoutbook and using that as a tool currently. But from the home screen that you're on there, you're going to hit your den roster button. And in here, you're going to be able to see the youth that are in your den. You're going to be able to see their progress on their ranks and their advancements. You're also going to be able to see the adults and the parents who are part of that den. And then you're going to see a little plus button down there on the bottom right corner where you're going to be able to add den members into your den. Excuse me. Once you get there, or in order for them to be added, the youth and leaders are going to need to be registered with your unit. So you're not going to be able to add someone who isn't a member yet. Send them over to the application manager, send them an application, get them added so they're a registered member of your pack as well as your den. One of the things is if you are going through here and you need to remove a member of your den, don't worry. Removing them from your den is not going to remove them from the pack. You're just simply letting Scoutbook know, you're letting the Den Leader Experience know this family isn't a participant in my den, but they can be assigned to another den. Patrick shared a little bit about the communication that goes out to the families after you complete your attendance, letting them know the things that they experienced that night, as well as letting them know the things that they missed out if they weren't able to be there and how they can fulfill those requirements with their scout. But you can also use this as a method to connect every one of your scouts to their parents and quickly access their parents' information, where you can send them a text, you can give them a call. As you can see there on the screen, we have Billy Gray. He is 50% of the way to his bear. He's there 67% of the time. And right there, you can see access to both of his parents' information So if there's any reason you're trying to contact them, this is a quick and easy place for you to find that information, as well as everything about your scouts. A couple other things you can see in your Den member profile. You can see here the different types of activities that they attended, what the things were that were covered that night, as well as the adventures that they have completed as they're working through their Den program with you. We've talked a lot about setting up your Den, but we want to highlight just for a minute that you can also set up your account. Patrick shared how the little monster icons are the default. That's going to be the default for you as a Den leader, but you're welcome to upload a photo of yourself or a photo that you'd like to have on there and have direct access to all of your information. On the bottom, and I think I clicked one too early, on the bottom you're going to see there that you can get to your active positions and training. So if you haven't completed all your training, we invite you to hit that button, see the positions that you're registered in, as well as complete the training that you've done. The great thing for our Den leaders is that all of your training is available online. Even for our Cub Masters and our committee chairs at the pack level, you're able to complete all of your training. The only in-person training that's required for your pack is Baloo training. We're not going to dive into that tonight, but you'll be able to get access to everything you need to do to be considered a trained leader there. We also have some great resources that you can find. You can see a lot of different information that's on there. Many of these things are accompanied with videos, much like the one you saw earlier. There's a lot of forms on there, as I shared just a little bit ago. Lots of information on your required training for your position, as well as optional training that you can do to enhance your knowledge as a Den leader. So we've shared with you quite a bit of information tonight talking about the Den leader experience. I hope that you find this tool beneficial to you. We wanted to give you, each of you here with us this evening, and any of you joining with us afterwards, as you review this recording with a call to action. We invite you to experience the Den leader experience. Get in there, set up your Den, set up your schedule, and start using this as a tool to help guide your Den and to communicate with your families. We also ask you guys to share your thoughts and experiences with us. This is a new tool to Patrick and I. It's been out for a while, so some of you may be Den leader experience experts. We want to know who you are because you may be able to help others, including ourselves, learn how to use this tool a little bit better. If you have struggles or if you have input in ways that you think this could be more beneficial for you and for your pack, we also invite you to reach out to us with that as well. The contact for myself, matthew.hill@scouting.org, is there on the screen. You're also welcome to reach out to Patrick at patrick.gamble@scouting.org to let us know how we can better help you utilize the Den leader experience, as well as how we can help others benefit from it. But I want to thank all of you for joining us on this breakout this evening. For those of you who are here live with us, we're going to open up to questions here in a moment.